So far, we've been talking about sleep stages and cycles of a normal young adult. This is defined in sleep research as adults between the ages of 20 and 50. Adults tend to need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. As you might have surmised, the amount of sleep needed and sleep cycles can vary greatly with age. Let's take a look at infants, children, teens, and the elderly. The idea that most of us need 7 to 9 hours is not true for all. Newborns usually need 16 to 18 hours. That's 2/3 of the nycthymeron. Also, their sleep is different in that the brain is not yet developed enough to produce the type of brain waves we produce as adults. Infants appear to experience 3 kinds of sleep. The first is QS, or quiet sleep. Here, the EEG is most similar to adult M3, and there is a lack of body or eye movements. Second is AS, or active sleep. Here, the EEG is most similar to adult REM sleep, and there's eye movements and occasional body and facial movements. Finally, there is IS, or indeterminate sleep, and this is simply a mixture of quiet and active sleep. Babies usually spend about 50% of the time in active sleep and 50% in quiet sleep. Quiet sleep gradually morphs into non-REM by about 6 months. Active sleep gradually morphs into REM sleep by about 12 months. Also, babies have many sleep periods over a nycthymeron, unlike adults' single night period. Night periods build and combine until by 2 to 3 months, babies are usually sleeping through the adult night, along with day naps. Day naps reduce in quantity and length until by age 3 to 5, the child is usually sleeping one long night period, along with one relatively short day nap. By age 10, the night period has generally grown to 10 hours. This does not reduce for quite a while. DEMENT's longitudinal sleep camp study followed kids from ages 10 to 12 to adulthood. Kids came to sleep camp each summer and even wore electrodes, what they referred to in good humor as their trodes. They wore them daytime too, to prevent cumbersome reattaching each night. Their performance was measured repeatedly after different sleep period lengths were allowed. The peak became very clear. Teens need an average of 9.25 hours to perform at their best. But many studies show that they are actually sleep deprived. So they're usually functioning on an average of 6.5 hours during the school week. By the age of 20, the average amount of sleep for best functioning has morphed to the adult rate of 7 to 9 hours. Unfortunately, college students are generally functioning at a sleep-deprived level during the school week because many lack the education regarding the importance of sleep, along with the motivation and/or self-regulation needed to balance their sleep, study, and playtime effectively. Webb, in 1975, rigorously studied sleep in the elderly, and his findings are numerous. The elderly tend to have more difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep compared to when they were young. He describes this as fraying, like the ends of a rope can unravel over time. For some elderly, sleep frays a lot. For others, it's minimal. Scientists are divided about whether there is less need for sleep in the elderly. Some believe there is no reduction whatsoever. Others that the average needed sleep range narrows from the adult 7.9 to the elderly adult at 7 to 8 because of decrease in melatonin and growth hormone release. Regardless, though, many elderly claim to only get 6 or less hours of sleep per night. Well, this can be the result of physical problems, psychological problems, and/or meds that interfere with sleep. There is reason to suspect that when these causes are not present, this difference is often accounted for by day naps that individuals in this age group are either unwilling or unable to accurately report. The best thing an elderly person can do to improve the length and the efficiency of their nighttime sleep period is to live an active lifestyle during the day, avoiding boredom-induced naps by interspersing periodic exercise, walks, and light physical work. If an elderly person enjoys watching TV or reading during the day, but has difficulty staying awake when doing so, simultaneously engaging in something like knitting or macrame can help, along with intermittent periods of physical activity. My partner's mother loves sitting in front of the TV while simultaneously emailing and surfing on her iPad. It bothers her, though, that she is constantly falling asleep with the TV on and the iPad fallen into her lap. She wants to change this behavior, but knows she needs prompts. If only there was an app that would turn her iPad off every hour until she walked around the block or did an errand or otherwise earned physical credits to turn it back on. I know that she would agree to this kind of self-choice assistance. Many chronic physical ailments like asthma can mess with sleep, as can the meds used to treat them. So can mental disorders, like those that produce anxiety, and sleep disorders. And the longer you live, the more time you have to accumulate some of these. It doesn't mean that you will, but the odds go up. Additionally, some diseases like muscular dystrophy and Parkinson's disease are associated with sleep problems. Here's a cool image summarizing some of the age effects in a uniquely visual way. You may want to do a screen capture of it. In our next segment of this lecture, we will look at sleep over the ages.